Like and subscribe. Azzy, put this at the beginning of the video too. Alright, motherfuckers. Anti-check.
Yes, Sirski, what's good?
Snorlax check.
What's good? What's good? I'm here.
Fox check.
What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
All right. Hello. What's going on, everybody? We're back with your low-key favorite podcast, the Run It Back Boys. All right. And if you haven't noticed, all four of us are finally here. See, I was low-key in the back of my mind. I was thinking, like, we should be doing that, like, what's that thing from Yu-Gi-Oh? Where they all have those weird symbols in their hands and they're all touching and shit like that. We all do that shit.
That was in the beginning of the arc where they were going through the tournament. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the little friendship symbol. Yeah.
The little friendship symbol. Yeah, we all do that shit. Be tight. But anyways.
Start throwing them gang signs and shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be Joey. I'm gonna be Joey.
So that means Tox has to be Trent, right? And then Calm is what's her name? Chick.
Shit.
Is
I just watched
Taya?
Yu-Gi-Oh too.
Is it Taya?
I think it's Taya.
I know the big dude is Trent.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, my camera just is.
I'll be Yugi, but I'm not Yugi mode. I'll be the Pharaoh. I'm not trying to be. I'm good. Alright.
Oh no.
My camera disconnected.
Hey,
Oh,
come
no.
on,
Yo.
bro.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah,
The
it's all
thing with
video.
the stream deck is like you could do it in any call. You can do it.
Yeah, anything. Because you can set that up and shit specifically for Discord too, where like you have it and it comes in through like all your sounds and shit like that.
Yeah.
Mad funny.
Because you can just put like you can have like the regular size one, and you can have one button that goes to different pages.
Yeah, pretty
So,
much.
That's what I'm thinking of doing.
Which is nice too, because like I mean, even for me, like most of my hotkeys and shit like that are on my keyboard, and I'm not gonna lie to you, there's been multiple times where I've touched it like typing and stuff and whatever on stream, and I hit shit on my keyboard. I'm like,
oh
well,
shit. Calm, are you gonna
Yeah.
be PNG calm today?
Maybe we're
PNG.
gonna see if I can't reconnect this.
Yeah.
Alright,
It-
anyways.
it'd be, yeah, but that would be like that.
Just
Let's let it
continue.
rock.
you go like that. We're letting it
yeah.
rock.
We are back, the four of us. It's been a long time, or a long time. Tox did a good job with the intro. You know that we discussed this before. That is the punishment if you're not on the episode. You have to do the intro. I'm always the one doing the intro just because it's a lot. It's easy for me. I could do that. But that is the people's punishment. Anyone doesn't, it doesn't matter what member. That's what they have to do. So
Yes, sir.
we're back, four of us finally. It's been like a month and change.
Oh man.
In a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute we all been together.
I know
I mean-
Tox ain't going nowhere for a while. So
Thank
No.
God.
No, y'all ain't getting rid of me that easy. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't fucking going nowhere.
yeah, I'm glad that we're all back. It's been nice. We got stuff to talk, not stuff to talk about, but at least we got the four of us to talk about a certain thing.
We got some things to unpack here.
Pretty much. Yeah, let's do the run back of the week. Finally, with the four of us. Let's start off with Kinty.
All right. Yes, sir. Honestly, I've been chilling. I started photography school. This week. Learning about like commercial photography and everything. First time went to a photo studio. It's all new to me. A little overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. But other than that, though, it's pretty cool. Made some friends with a couple of classmates and everything. And like, it's a chill ass class. It's a really chill vibe and everything. We're gonna learn how to take pictures of like textures of bread, like fucking bakery and shit. So that's gonna be pretty cool, like a dinner set and everything while we go over
Mm.
there. Yeah, I'm very excited. I never did shit like this before. Like I took pictures of stuff, but like doing it like commercial style, like it's gonna be very new to me.
Mm.
And then went to go clean my fucking laptop because my fans were fucking dusty as shit. And it was finally clean. I actually learned how to clean them on my own. Shout out to my neighbor because he taught me and his work assistant as well. They helped me put my new new gel for my GPU, CPU, and then they give me a new memory card, like a memory card for to have a bigger hard drive from like me having to save photos for like raw because they're big as shit. I didn't know that until like recently. So I got a bigger terabyte. So I'm like, that's pretty cool and shit. And then other than that, I'm actually starting a new series as well. I started recently. I played it a couple days ago. It's the Nier series. I'm playing Nier Replicant. Overall, so far, combat's beautiful. I think the music is beautiful. Story's a little interesting so far. I don't know what the hell's going on at first, but I think I'll get the hang of it. The only thing I don't like so far is just back pacing. Just back pacing, but other than that, that's every pretty much video game like that nowadays. So I'm not gonna mind it. But overall, I'm enjoying the experience. I can't wait to be near Replicant a couple times and to play near Automata. So it's gonna be very fucking cool.
Near Tomato. Yeah.
Near Automatos, yes, exactly.
I'll go next just because might as well.
Mhm.
Week since the last time we talked, same old, same old. I don't really until like I do other stuff. I'm like I don't really do anything else. Writing down a lot of stuff for my stream or my potential stream, I guess. I kind of know what days I'm gonna stream anyways. I'm gonna stream every weekday. Weekends I kind of I see people stream on the weekends. I'm like, hell no. No.
A lot.
I'm
Yeah.
not doing that.
It really is.
Because everybody needs the rest days. I'm a one firm believer. I'm like people need rest days, and people who stream every day just like I don't know how you do that. That's impossible. But yeah, I'm a firm believer in rest days and them existing and people actually taking rest days. So yeah, I'll stream like I'm thinking of like Monday through Friday, and then like I was just jotting down like times and things like that. Probably like afternoon my time. It's a very friendly time for people who like kind of like that time of the I like it when people stream like midday. Like it's cool. I like it. So like I don't know, maybe 1:30 or 2 p.m. my time. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. And I'll stream until like 7, 6, something like that. Because then like sometimes late at night I would have to, or sometimes at that, at night I would have to mod for somebody. So kind of want to like actually be there.
Yeah.
That. Also jotting down things that I am gonna stream. Uh, Obviously fighting games, obviously. Um, but I don't know what game to start with. I don't want to start with a fighting game. I kind of want to start with something. I don't know if it should be my Mega Man playthrough series thing. Um,
I would say Mega Man Zero.
well, I don't have it on
Probably.
You don't have it?
PC. I have
I
it
thought
on.
you
I have it
did.
on my Switch. I do.
Oh, true.
Oh, okay.
But I have the X collection. I was thinking about playing that, and then I was like, either that or I start with Chrono Trigger because Chrono Trigger is my favorite RPG of all time, or JRPG, I guess. Um, but I don't know. Like Chrono Trigger kind of takes a long time, and like I feel like Mega Man's a more interesting series because like you just go through several games, and then you get to like the newer stuff. Like you get to like Mega Man 11, and then you could play like the Zero collection again. It's a bunch of, and then like next year when Battle Network comes out again, um, play that. So I
That's gonna be
might start
mad
with Mega
fun.
Man because I'm a Mega Man head fan. So I could start with Mega Man. I feel like that is a good start point for the stream, and it's like something easy that I don't have to like concentrate heavy. Like if I was starting a fighting game, it would be kind of tough to like get to know chat, things like that. But I'm still gonna play fighting games on stream. That's kind of like what I want to be known for too, like variety stream, and then like he also is known for fighting. It's kind of what
Yeah.
I also have to get some art done for me, just so I don't look like a fool when I first start streaming. I'm kind of someone who likes to be organized and prepared and things like that. So I'm like, that's why I haven't like if I didn't care, I would have started streaming like 3 months ago. So,
Mhm.
but I kind of do care and I kind of want to look nice, so I have to get some art done for me. But yeah, just thinking about a lot of stuff, and I also got a new controller for fighting games. I got the Hori Commander.
Oh
Uh,
shit.
the
How is it?
PlayStation, the
Nice,
Octa. I
nice.
haven't used it yet, just because like I've been having like headaches for the past 2 days, and it kind of annoys me. And
Okay.
whenever I have headache, I can't really play a game for that long without like losing my mind. So I opened it and I got it out of the box and like I pressed it a little bit and I was like, yeah, this feels great. It's light, but not like paper thin light. Like it feels nice, very clicky, which what I was looking for. And I'm kind of like tired of the DualShock for fighting games. Like you play it for a little bit and it's just like, man, what the fuck? Like the thumb, like I use thumbsticks and D-pad, and like the thumbsticks just kind of piss me off. Like
Mhm.
it's so again like after when you get a new one, it's fine, but then like you start playing it a little bit, and it's like man, these things start to slip off your finger, and it's like I can't do that. Like inputting the wrong special moves just because you slip a finger and like you don't go in the certain direction you need to go. It's just like I don't know, man. So I got this the commander, the Octa. Um, it's nice. I like how the D-pad is. I like how the thumbsticks is. Um, can't wait to actually use it in my future fighting games and things, and like all the ones I already play now. So yeah.
So you more like do you like more like the joystick over directional pad or
Um, I like I think I'm always used to the sticks just
Mhm.
cause it like when I was doing like super motions, like you do super inputs like double quarter circle forward, double quarter
Yeah.
circle back, half circle, you know how Guilty Gear specials,
Yeah.
KOF specials, and Street Fighter specials. I think I got used to that on like the joysticks. And the D-pad was mainly for like doing command inputs like forward this button, forward that button, back this
Yeah.
button, up and shit like that. And like
Uh-huh.
also like doing air dashes, I kind of got used to it with the doing the D-pad. That's why I kind of use both. And then
Yeah.
in something like Mortal Kombat or Tekken, it's like I only ever will use the D-pad because like
Yeah.
using an L stick to move around in Tekken, like who does that? Like
Yeah, I don't know. I see, like, I've seen people use it a lot of times. It looks
Mhm.
crazy because I swear to God, they're just like they're throwing it around like
practically,
every two
yeah.
seconds, and I'm like, I don't know how much my wrist be able to take that. Like, that's kind
Hmm.
of wild. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
a lot of those more like stationary kind of fighting games, 100%. Yeah, definitely would use the directional pad than anything else, but yeah, anything with like 236 or quarter circle backward, all that type of shit. Like yeah, 100%. Like I swap between stick and D-pad all the time.
Yeah, a lot of pros do use it, but also like the D-pad on the DualShock is not the best, anyways. So I'm like, when people are like, "Oh no, you gotta hold it like this, or you gotta put your thumb here," I'm like, I don't. It like, doesn't really work for me. Now, if the DualShock had individual buttons for the D-pad, it'd be the greatest fighting game controller ever. So there's that. But I kind of trust Hori, and people were like using the Xbox version of this controller that I have, and they're like, "No, this is great. I love this." I'm like, "All right, cool." But I kind of like if I want to do more tournaments offline, I kind of have to use the PlayStation one just because like I'm not trying to get a converter for if I get the Xbox one, blah 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 things. I'm not trying to go through that hassle. So like, but this one is good because it goes through PS5, PS4, and PC. So I'm like, all right, that's kind of all I really need. So
Right.
yeah. But yeah, that's been my week. Yeah, Mr. Toxicity.
I was gonna
How's been
say,
your month?
is our boy Calm back yet?
Oh, you
Oh,
good?
I've been
Calm
here the whole
check.
time. Yeah,
Oh,
And you haven't.
I don't
Yeah,
know
he's
if
just
you're
he's
if
a
you're
PNG now.
it's gonna
He's
be a
living his best
PNG
life.
kind of day. I
all
guess.
right. What's
Yeah.
I
PNG
guess
kind
I'll
of day?
go.
All
Oh
right,
yeah,
go
you go,
commentate.
man.
So I've been since last time. I've been doing good. Work's been great. I wake up at 12 p.m. fucking midnight every day because I gotta be at work at like 4 a.m. most days. So it's been weird, but it's been nice. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's like having an actual full day to do whatever I want because I get off
Mhm.
work at like 3 or 4, and
Pretty punctual.
sometimes even noon.
Oos.
And I'm just like, well, now I'm gonna go do whatever. I can stream, I
Mhm.
can sleep, I can eat. Literally, I just have all the time.
It's kind of fire.
Nice.
It is
That's
fire.
fire.
But today, I went to go get an oil change and found out that the whole oil bin for my car is rusted over.
Oh
So,
my goodness.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Jesus.
so that means I have to get either a new car or, well, I have to get a new car anyways. It's time.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
Well, you realistically could get that changed
mhm.
and continue going. And my experience now, I know it's different from US to Canadian stuff, but it's not crazy expensive if you do it yourself. If you go pay some people to go do it for you, good luck.
This shit gonna
Yeah.
cost a brick.
Like
Good
the
luck.
thing is, I'm absolutely self. I just don't have the stuff to do it. but like I gotta get it done soon. I drive almost an hour to work every day, so I just gotta get it done.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, hopefully be able to fix that soon.
Yeah.
How's your month?
Oh, yeah, how's been your
All
little
right. The
Well,
man who saved Canada.
been away for like
It's been a minute.
basically 2 months. Realistically,
2 months? Has
Did-
it really?
Did we?
Mhm.
Because when he
Because-
the last time before he left again, he wasn't on the episode for a while.
Yeah.
So.
I
That's
remember
true.
because when I came back from my break there, y'all were on your break because of Evo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I've been away for like 2 months now. I guess from most things, but for my break I did come back and stream for a bit, a couple of days there, because I did leave and go away to the cabin for a bit. But 2 months away from this shit, it's been crazy. Yeah, I've been working like a dog, working me like a slave out there. But at least it's good money though. Like it was really good money. I mean, because here's the thing, right? Like for most of the time, like when you talk about going up north to go and work, usually they will give you a pay bump because of where you're going and because of living situations and all that kind of stuff, or they'll give you like an allowance, whatever, depends on the deal that you're going up there to go and work, right?
Mhm.
So, but for in our instance, they had the living arrangement and they had food, everything, like everything was compensated for us already. So instead of giving us the pay bump, they basically just gave us everything for free. The flights for free, the food free, and we had living, and we were all lived in the camp that was out there on the reserve. So there was no pay bump, but it was mad overtime. Like I'm talking, we were working 150 hours every 2 weeks. Yeah, 150 hours every 2 weeks. Like when I first, like for the first month I went up there because we were going, like we had to get some shit done. Excuse me, we were doing like 170 something hours, and then our boss is like, you know what? We're gonna start cutting it down because now we're running out of work now. Like we're pretty much caught up on most things. So instead of doing like our 12s and all that like that, we're gonna do our 10.5s instead. And we're like, okay, bet it's not bad. So that's why I dropped it down to about like 150 hours every 2 weeks, which was good. But oh my fucking god, bro! I'm not gonna lie to you. I cried a little bit every time I saw my pay stub because of the amount of taxes, that get
Was
taken
it
off.
crazy?
Yes, like I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll pull the numbers like right now. I'll tell you. I'll show
There's
you.
no
Shit.
way. There's
It's
no way it's
fucked.
above
It
30%.
must-
It's fucked.
No.
Like I'm
There's
not
no
lying
way,
to you
man.
when I
You
say
can't
this
tell
shit
me
is
that's 30%. They take 30%. There's no way.
If they
Okay.
take 30, I'm gonna
So
fucking lose it.
actually, here I'll go to the one for the first month. So this is the
Okay.
first month I worked out there, right? So it was. Oh, that's not it. Where's the other one here? The full one. Okay, here we go. So regular earnings was 80, right? Now this is just 2 weeks though. This is not like the full 3 weeks I was out there. There's another one for it, but I won't go on them. So 80 hours regular and 75 OT. Now OT for us is basically time and a half. So it's your wage plus half of your wage again. So that's how much you get paid, right? But here's the deal though. When you work OT though, you get taxed more on it.
What?
I cannot tell you
No
why that is. I don't
way.
know.
What kind of sense
why-
does that make? What?
I don't know. I cannot tell you why that is part of it, but it is. And you get taxed depending on how much OT you work. So if you work like a mad amount of OT, you get this shit snatched.
It is
know
not
what I mean?
That doesn't make
real.
any sense.
It's not
No.
real.
If
I
you work
How?
only
Yeah.
like a bit, like, and it's like within a few hours, I think it's within 10 to 20. I think it's within that bracket. It's like a very safe buffer. Like you will get taxed like a teeny bit off a percentage, but it's not that much. As soon as you go over that, it's like how your taxes go. You're into a new bracket. Same thing with OT. It moves it to a new bracket and you get taxed a percentage dependent on how much OT you worked. It's
What?
fucked. It's actually insane.
What?
And it's to the point where now I'm like, yo, if they still take this much taxes from us, and at the end of the year, when you go to your taxes, and because for us, right, like sometimes we get laid off. So off our checks, there's specifics for deductions that come off our taxes specifically for EI, which is our like our benefits and whatnot, so that we get money when we get laid off. We pay that shit off our taxes all the time. But still, at the end of the year, when we get that money, like if we were to go off EI for the 10 weeks or whatever we get for benefits, that's like making that's making zilch for how much you're gonna get back. Like there's been multiple years where I've gone and done my taxes. I've gotten maybe like $100 back. And I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, really? Like I've paid mad taxes throughout this year, and this is all I'm gonna get. So, so yeah. So there we go. So I get paid like 30/20. This is all Canadian though, mind you. It is what it is. So 80 hours, 75 OT. So total deductions. All right. So off of federal tax alone. Okay, so this is different for Canada. Almost $2,000
I damn.
What?
for
God,
taxes
nah.
alone.
Oh
Nah.
my god.
Ooh,
$2,000
Two
away
rags?
from my paycheck
God
was taken
damn.
for
Nah, who am
tax.
I swinging on? 'Cause-
bro,
The
that's
federal-
actually
that's who you
fucking
swinging on.
wild.
I just
The
don't think that's a.
Canadian government.
I don't think that's a thing here. I don't think so.
Bro, we can't win.
No.
It probably isn't. It's very different. That's
It's
what I mean.
definitely
Like,
not.
it's definitely different. It is what it is. But then
Holy
and then I
shit.
can go down the line for like all the other different deductions and shit like that. But that's just federal tax alone. Now like total tax deductions, this is like other stuff. So like my benefits, my pension plan, all the other kind of shit. $2,500 was technically taken off of my
Jesus
full check,
Christ.
and my
What the
full
fuck?
check out of everything was like $6,500 out of those 2 weeks. So they took away $2,500 away from me. So I only got like $4,000.
Oh my god.
So they took 20%.
A little,
No,
yeah, a little more
that's-
than like 20% of my check.
God
Yeah.
damn. Or at least it
That's-
didn't go above 30. That was just was a
That's
hope.
at least 26%.
God damn.
Yeah.
If my
What
math
the
is
fuck?
correct.
It's
I want
fucked.
to say yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
And-
mean, it might be different because of how it is in Canada, but
And
that's
people here
insane.
wonder why people can barely afford fucking food, housing, and the rest of everything else that you want to get. Meanwhile, you're getting raped up your ass for taxes every
Christ.
time you go do anything. You go to the store to go buy food, taxed. You go to go, pay gas, tax. You go to go work, tax. You go do anything, tax. And then people are like, I love paying taxes. It pays for everything. Fuck you. No, that's not how this works, bro.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ, that was
god.
depressing,
That
though.
sounds like
Really?
tax the fuckers.
That's real.
So I'm not gonna lie to you, like I cried every time I looked at my pay stub after those 2 weeks, and I was like, "There's so much I could have done with that money, bro." Like, oh my god.
I have shit in this house.
Right.
Like that was literally the quote every single day out there, because we were out in a place called Poplar River Reserve. Every single day, me and the crew would be like, "Can't have shit in Poplar River, bro. Can't have
Mm.
fuck all out here." Oh yeah. So after the first month I came back, right? And I
Mhm.
went back out there. I went back because I left my tools there because I was coming back anyway. So I went back out there, and I have these things called side cutters. They're basically just a pair of cutters so you can cut cable, whatever else with. They're gone. They were gone out of my bag. I don't know where the fuck they went to. I don't know what happened. Apparently, one of the guys said they used it, but they said they put it right back. And I trust that guy because I've used his shit too, and he's always been like back and forth with me, kind of like borrowing our shit. So I go back, and only my side cuts was gone. As soon as I got back, I'm like, I turn around, I'm like, can't have fucking shit in Pop.
Literally can't have shit in this house, dog.
Shit in
Literally.
here, man.
My
I'm like,
God.
really?
This
I'm like,
is-
that's gone. Great. And then not a week goes by, boom, one of our other guys says he lost his linesman. I'm like,
Oh,
okay, this isn't a coincidence. Somebody on this side is coming around and stealing tools, and specifically from our job box, because this shit's kind of getting out of whack. So he lost his linesman. I lost my side cuts. I think someone else fucking lost something else too. That was random. Like they just couldn't find it at all. But I honestly think maybe one of the guys that had left completely might have mistaken my Milwaukee tool for his, because like we both had Milwaukee stuff, and he left when I left to go. You know what I mean? So he might have like seen it in the Dropbox laying there and been like, "Oh shit, I lost mine." You know what I mean? And picked it up. simple mistake. I mean, most guys have the same tools on site too. So like, you gotta write your name on it or put a piece of banded tape on it, shit like that. So you gotta have that stuff there. Um, but yeah, I came back to that. I was pretty pissed. I was like, you know what? I'm boring Buddy's side cuts for the rest of this trip because fuck this shit, man. Lost mine. You're losing yours too, but I'm taking these. And I'm like, and then I looked at them and I knew that he had at one point cut into live wire because there was a chunk missing out of the fucking blade. And every time you go to go cut,
Jesus
that's
Christ.
where the wire gets in there. So it gets stuck in there and it barely even cuts. Bro, I damn near wanted to throw these. I'm like, bro, please throw these out and go get yourself a new pair because these are ass. It's terrible. So, oh, I got shocked a couple times when I was up there too. Fun
No,
times.
no.
So like I was
Isn't
in
that
one of
normal
the-
for you?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's normal, but like it shouldn't be. That's the thing.
I'm like,
Yeah,
it's not something you normalize, but I'm just like, isn't? I mean, it happens more than once. So I'm
yeah,
like,
I mean, you specifically because where we're working, like we're dealing with live, like the building is live. Like there are live circuits on because people
yeah, they
need
have their
lights, they
shit
need
on.
power
Yeah.
for plugs, they need this power, they need like everything is on, right? So you got to be careful what's going on there, right? So now here I am, forgot what circuit was on what.
Jesus.
And if you know how electricity works, like for our cabling and stuff like that, there's this thing called neutral, and your power, your hot and your neutral. So if you looked in your lights at all, you'd see, I know for the States it can be fucking weird colors. You guys are just funky like that. Whatever. Here in Canada, it's a white for a neutral and a black for a hot. So there's going to be those two wires going into your light, and you need those two to have full power. Now, lights share neutrals with other circuits sometimes, specifically like plugs and shit like that. I didn't know that this specific neutral was shared with the plugs or if it was even on. Why? Because I didn't have a fucking panel directory like I asked my boss, and he only gave me a layout of the circuits that were in that room. And I'm like, hey, bet. I don't see nothing on here. We should be good. Go cut this cord. Boom! Fucking huge light goes off. I'm like, I'm like, damn it. I'm like, okay, well, that was a shared. I'm like, I go look around. I'm like, okay, well, the lights off are in this room. Lights are off in that room.
Man
Okay,
said
let's go
Mario
check what
64
else.
screw.
I go in the panel.
He's like, oh, like that's literally what happened.
I go in the panel and I see one of the breakers are tripped. I'm like, okay, it's obviously the lighting one. So I flicked it off, turned it off. I'm like, looked at my fucking side cuts. Big ass fucking chunk.
God
the blade.
damn.
I'm like, fuck sakes, man. I'm like, god damn it. Of course, now I got a busted pair of strippers and my side cuts are gone. Kind of shit in Poplar River, bro.
A few more of those, and Tox is gonna come out and be Electro. For real,
Oh
bro.
my god.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
I
come
was
back
shocked
to
though.
I was like, yeah, I can control all my electricity in my house. Light bill
Man.
don't exist around here no more. Fuck out of here with that.
Bro, it'd be like that one video where that guy goes with the car battery and he's like, and he just touches both the positive and neutral
Oh
and just
my
And
starts
it just
God.
turns
Bro,
on.
like,
Yes, bro.
out
I've
here.
seen that
There's
shit.
no way. This
Nah,
man
that
straight
video
up
blew
had
me away.
electricity in his hand. Like that shouldn't be humanly possible, but I guess it is.
Talk's gonna be clap on, clap off.
I'll be
Okay.
like, clap.
I'm over here fucking like complaining about having 2 days straight of migraine. This nigga Tox is getting robbed by not only the government, but people he's working.
But his fucking coworkers.
Yeah. I'm like, that's
It's
kind of
crazy.
nuts.
But yeah, and then the second time I got shocked, there was in this big JB that we had up on the wall, and I was working in the electrical room, and there's there's no airflow at all. You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's hot as fuck in here, bro. Like, I'm literally up in the ceiling, sweating my balls off because there's no airflow, and I'm just stuck up here. Like every other fucking room in this building has AC going on right now, but the one I'm working in. I'm like, please, can I get AC in here? Is this shit hooked up? He's like, yeah, it's been hooked up. I'm like, then why the fuck is it on? Why? Why has no one told me this? They're like, oh, well, you gotta go just hook up the cables in the. I'm like,
So
"Hey,
it's not on.
It's not
show
hooked
me
up.
where the connection needs to be made so we can get the AC in this room, bro. You know, he's like,
Right.
hey, go in there, go in the room. There's a 6x6 up there, right above the contact box. There's a cable, and I'm like, okay, bet. So I go in there, and I see this cable coming out. It's stripped open, whatever, and it's open. It looks like it's ready for Joel. Like someone had already like readied it to be made for joints and like be connected together. I'm like, okay, so this is the feed, this goes off, this channel's my cake, great. I go up to go and look at the cable on top of it, and the box is like kind of like at my chest now, right? And the cable was sticking, both of them were sticking out, but the one for the feed was out. Now, I didn't check if it was live because first off, it wasn't capped off or it wasn't taped so that you couldn't touch the bare copper. And if you know about most of that stuff, like if you were to turn something on, you need to cap off everything else that's attached to it that's not tied in. Now, whoever did it didn't fucking tie it in or tape it or do anything to it. They just turned it on and left it.
Jesus
So I jump
Christ.
up, and here comes the cable. Boom! Right in my, like, literally touches my chest, like through my shirt and everything like that. I
Oh.
like for a like for a few seconds, I'm like, why is my chest getting hot? Then all of a sudden, it was like tingly all over my chest. I was like, oh, like jump off the ladder. And bro, holy shit, my chest was on fucking fire for
Oh
a
my
solid few
God.
minutes. I'm like, bro, why? Why didn't nobody fucking like tie this off, do nothing? I'm like, I'm walking around the room like, I'm so pissed, man. I'm like, fuck this, please, bro.
You, bro.
Toxic,
I'm
just sit
telling
there.
you, Tox is gonna be Canadian Static Shock. He's gonna be real life Static Shock, and we can't do
Bro.
anything about it because his coworkers are the stupidest people ever.
Holy fuck.
It's not
like,
funny. Jesus
oh
Christ.
my god. Like I got off there and I'm like, holy fuck. So I like bust open my shirt. I'm like, fuck, bro. I'm like, is there a mark or nothing? I'm like, damn. I'm like, that was straight to my chest. Like that would have been pretty bad if it was anything else other than just what it was, which I think it was like just 120 or slightly 230 or something like that. So it wasn't crazy bad. It was like a normal shock that you would get from a fucking plug or anything like that, or slightly higher than that. So like you're good. But
Jesus.
it didn't make like
God.
full, and I was grounded off the ladder anyway, so it didn't make like full contact and go crazy throughout my body, so it's still okay. But I was pissed after that, so I taped the shit out of it. I'm like, fuck this, man. It's live. I'm gonna go figure out what the fuck is going on with this. So I went and I found my boss. I'm like, do you know the circuit's live and shit like that? He's like, yeah, it should have been. I'm like, then why the fuck didn't you even tell me? He's like, you're supposed to be checking that shit. I'm like, then why is it open? Like, we had this argument for like a good solid couple minutes. I'm like, somebody fucked up, and I don't know why you're blaming me for this shit, but somebody's got to come fix this. You know what I mean? Either turn
Right.
this shit off, get it done. So, long story short, got my shit shocked and never got the AC on.
Oh
The AC never
man.
got put on, bro.
I didn't even
I
complete the mission, bro. Jesus.
didn't even do nothing. You know what I mean? So I'm still in that hot ass room doing shit. And yeah, so I got shocked a few times. Some shit went down. Yeah, it was fun times. It's fun shit. It was good stuff.
That's been the runner back of the week or runner back of the month for
Low key,
Tox.
bro. I mean, fuck.
That's one hell of an origin
Ah.
story. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's one.
Like,
You know, that's a different origin story for that Static Shock. Creature
Like,
was just born with his powers. You're over here getting it
See-
at work. So
See, you
Like-
know, Spider-Man got bit. I mean, kind of, you know,
He
going
got bit,
around. The
yes.
Static Shock could just got born with the powers. Me, I got tased at work because of a dumbass that didn't do his job.
you got tased at work multiple times. They had to like make sure you actually had the ability to control electricity. So that was that. Let's
Crazy.
move into the rest of the episode, which I didn't know what it was gonna be, but I'm like, oh, let's just talk about our childhood, how we grew up. Just because I feel like we got some because we're all different. Like as I
Yeah.
keep saying it throughout the podcast, but I'm like, we're all different people, and we all grew up pretty differently. Obviously, with some similarities, because we kind of like we've talked about it before, and like we kind of know each other enough, and like sometimes we have enough similarities. Like, yo, we might as well live in the same fucking state because damn. But we all live in different states. Go around and say where we live or what state we live in.
mhm.
Some people are more obvious than others. Tox is
Mhm.
wearing a Canadian hat, so you kind of know where he lives. But for the people that don't know Tox, let them know.
Well,
Mhm.
for me, anyways, obviously born and raised in Canada. Now I don't know how many y'all know
Specifically, where in
province-
Canada,
the
though? What
provinces
province?
in Canada. Oh, 13 provinces in Canada. I wasn't born in Manitoba where I live right now. I was actually born in the province just over in Ontario, in a little town called Sioux Lookout. I'm not gonna lie, like realistically, if you look at it, it is a town, but there is also reserve there. Like it basically is like it's just a huge reserve because it is um led by a chief council and whatnot. So they're technically the ones that govern that place. So that's where I was born. And then my mom moved to Manitoba when I was little, and basically from the time I was, I want to say like 2 or 4 in between that, because my parents were never together when I popped into the picture. They were never
Yeah.
together. So yeah, it was always like separate and shit like that for me, anyways. So it was always back and forth between mom's house, dad's house, mom's house, dad's house all the time, right? And mad court case shit. Not gonna lie, like mad court case like every other fucking day between them two, all that kind of stuff, right? So basically for the first like I don't know how many like do the math like 12 or 13 years of my life has been like all just court case rules like okay, you're gonna go to your mother's house these 2 days, you're gonna go to your father's house these 2 days, and y'all alternate weekends and shit like that. So literally that's how it was. Like during school, like school weeks, it was like Monday, Tuesday, go to mom's house. Wednesday, Thursday, go to dad's house. And then whatever weekend it was, you're going to that person's house. You know what I mean? So realistically, like when I look at it now, I'm not gonna lie, I was mad lucky. I had twice the amount of shit that y'all had. I had 2 rooms. I had one room with mom, and I had one room with dad. So I had twice as much of shit. So really, was I losing though? I don't know. Maybe. But I don't know. I realistically
Got the
grew up always
true
look
end.
at shit optimistically,
Mentally,
all
you
that
was
kind of stuff.
losing, but realistically, you was winning.
I was
So
Yeah.
winning. So I
He
mean,
came up.
you can say like I like that's one thing I could never necessarily say is like I never could say I had like both parents like all the time, but both of them always did what they needed to do for me, what they could do for me all the time. So realistically, like I had everything I ever needed all the time. So I never really grew up like always needing stuff or poor and that kind of stuff. Mom always did what she had to do. Dad did what he had to do. So I can never really say I grew up bad. Now, just the situation I was maybe in wasn't the greatest all the time, but
probably not.
are you ever in the best situation at all times? So you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean?
True.
But at the end of the day, mom always loved me. Dad always loved me. So that's what I always liked doing. But yeah, I was a single kid for the most of like the first like 6 years, and until my dad and my stepmom had my first bro. And that was awesome. I loved it. Me and him, like when he was a baby, like I used to sit there like on the couch and he'd just like lay on my chest and me and him would just hang out, eat, sleep and shit like that. So it was always cool. Me and him always hanging out. So I'd come over like every, couple days and stuff like that when I could go to their place. And then on weekends and whatnot. So me and him would always hang out. Cousins would come over because again, it was only me, right? So who the fuck else am I supposed to go hang out with if I ain't got nobody
True.
around? So cousins would come over, hang out. And then what was it, 3 or 2 years after my first brother was born, my second brother was born from my stepmom and dad, and then he was cool too. I think we moved out of the old house at that point, so we were in a new, bigger place at that point. And then it was all three of us. We were always hanging out and stuff like that. Three bros. I still find it funny. We go back and I look at pictures, all three of us in the tub, hanging out, bathing and shit like that together. Nah, we were super tight when we were kids. Like we used to always hang out because we had like bunk beds in our house. So like one dude would sleep underneath me and I'd be on top because he didn't want to be on the top all the time because he had to climb up and down the ladder. So I would be up on top, and he'd always climb up there and come sleep with me and hang out all the time. And then the other guy would be in the crib just across from us. He'd be like, "What about me, bro? I'm just in here. Come get me out of here." And I'm like, "We
Brother
can't
from
get you.
isolated, bro. He gonna do that to him.
We
Jesus
can't get
Christ.
you out of there. Like you gonna fall the fuck off here." He's like, "Bro, please, please."
Por favor, please.
Por favor, please. So, and then 2 years after, was it 2? Yeah, I think it might have been 2 years after my second brother was born. My little baby sis was born, and I helped out. I actually helped out quite a bit, even with my second brother, a lot of time around the house, since I was like the oldest one anyway. So that was basically me. Oldest of three. Well, technically oldest of four now because my mom also has a kid. Another little sis. She's 6 now, or 5, 5 now, 5 or 6 now. Starting grade.
Can't even get the age right on your siblings. What's wrong with you? Terrible older brother.
Too many to remember all the time. Yeah, so you got the 4 of them. Oldest of 4, or technically oldest of 5 now. But my 3 other siblings don't really like course with the other one because obviously my mom lives in Ontario right now because she moved away when I was 13 or 14. So I've been living with my dad here in the city for the past like 8 years and shit like that. After I moved out when I was 22. So yeah, been away for a little while there, and so we got the 3 other ones. Love them to death. Do anything for them. And yeah,
That's Tox's origin story.
basically me.
That's his respawn
Yes,
story.
sir.
Canty, tell us about your respawn point. You know, tell us
Damn,
about how you were dropped from the Fortnite battle bus.
bro. How I came out. I'm out here. All right, hold on. Let's see. To be honest, like it's pretty fucking simple. I mean, I can tell a little the JPEG origin story.
Tell the JPEG origin story. It's cool.
So if I won't say where I am, but I was pretty much born in LA, and that's the area I was born at, and it was a cool. That's where I was first in the beginning, like living, and then the area was kind of fucking rough and shit. I'm like, oh my god.
I mean, it's LA.
I
Can
was,
you be surprised?
yeah, like it's LA. I'm not gonna say where I was, but it's
Yeah,
like
you don't have to.
yeah, it's like my mom and dad realized like, oh shit, like yo, like this kind of this place is rough. We gotta get the fuck out of here. And so we moved to a nicer area. Long story short, with that, and yeah, I mean, my mom and dad are fucking cool. Like my mom is one of the best supporters. My dad is too. Like I know those two would do anything for me. Like for real, for real. Like I have very loving, supportive parents. I wish nothing but the best for them. And like I know like those two had my back when I was like they still to this day. Like actually it's their anniversary today. So happy anniversary to my
That's
mom and dad.
adorable.
I wish nothing but the best for you, and I love you guys with all my heart. And yeah, I mean growing up I was a very shy kid. I was very, very shy. I didn't know how to talk to people. Honestly, I didn't even know how to talk to girls when I was younger. It was pretty funny. And then like growing up and shit, I'm just like, okay, this is who I am. Like I was just a nerd. I was just fucking like I liked Spider-Man a lot, so I used to like collect a bunch of Spider-Man comic books and everything. And then moving forward, like I used to I got into anime when I was like what, middle school, and then early high schoolish, late high schoolish, and then moving forward, I am the youngest brother. I have 2 older brothers. They are one's a family man. I'm an uncle, and the other one's like doing his own thing now. Finally got an. He actually he graduated. Yeah, he got his degree a couple months ago. So congratulations to him. He finally got his own place. And yeah, like honestly, my childhood is pretty fucking simple. Like we were just pretty much chilling. Like I had we had a lot of people in our house before, like my grandma, my uncle, my great grandma. Like it was a big house. It's a big house, and but like it's like we had a lot of people at the time. But people started doing their own thing and everything. So my grandma's back in Mexico. My uncle actually recently got a place too. Like everyone's just doing their own thing. But we were all cool with each other. We were all just chilling, vibing,
Pretty Pulp
surviving,
Jam.
thriving. Yeah, it was fucking sick. And like honestly, like my childhood was pretty fucking simple. Like I got the best love, support, and kindness from my parents, and I'm still grateful to this day. I have amazing brothers. I have an amazing family. Like there's really no complaints I can really say about them, to be honest. And like like what was the thing? Yeah, like I'm just trying to. I don't know. There was one point like in my life I was just like, yo, what would happen if I talked to young JPEG to now JPEG right now?
Young JPEG.
Like, what would he say, bro? Honestly, JPEG was an awkward ass kid. So I'm just like, he was very shy, not very smart. Actually, I do have a story. Real quick. Um, I'm not good at sports. I never done sports in my life. I'm gonna say that right now. So I am not athletic at all. But there was one There was one time my dad, he got me into sports. Like he was trying to help me play basketball and stuff. You know, kiddie preschool basketball, something crazy, like little hoops and shit. And then according to him, I don't remember this, but he said it like when we were playing basketball, like it was like the score was like wild, and then I was like, I'm tired. According to him, I said, I am tired. I'm gonna take my own break when the game was still going. So pretty much, I took my own break. I'm gonna go for a water break, and I just left while the game was still going on.
He said, "Y'all be."
Like, I'm just gonna take a nap real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Get your
literally,
hold
that
real
was
quick,
me.
for real.
That was literally me. Like my mom and dad are like, they're like, "Hey, yo, the game's still going." I'm like, "Yeah, but like, I'm gonna get some water though. Like, they'll be alright."
Like, who the fuck this kid?
Like,
think he
and
is?
then my dad's like, "Yo, I don't think Canty's really. I don't think he's a sportsman." And that's when they finally realized, like, I don't think he's gonna get into sports, and that's okay. And they
That's one way
tried.
to detect it, right? That's one way for the parents to be like, yeah, maybe this kid ain't gonna be an NBA All-Star. You know, I'm not.
Yeah.
And he said,
It's
"Yeah,
like-
they'll be all right though." So
Yeah,
is it really my
Comes
problem?
Yeah,
dribbling down the court, stops
This
halfway.
shit
Yo,
was-
time out real quick. Goes gets his water.
Yeah, but I do like I think I like sports, but I was never competitive. Like I love playing like I love playing catch. I love tossing hoops and the basketball and shit. But like if you see like if you're trying to be competitive with me, I'm just not gonna care, to be honest. Like I was
He's like, all right, I'm
like if I
gonna
lose,
fuck with you
yeah,
later.
I'm gonna fuck with you. I'm like this ain't deep. Like I'm gonna go
Can't
get
you-
some water.
And he looks at somebody. He's like, "Is that sweat? Nah, you gonna have to take a break, bro. I'll catch you later."
You want to take a seat
Shit.
real quick?
You're
Do I
walking
see
off,
good
bro.
in the sun? Yeah, I'm good. I'll catch you on the flip side.
And it's
I'm
not
not
even
gonna
the
lie to you.
fucking hoops. It's the kid hoops, those plastic kid hoops. We were small as fuck.
Oh,
and I'm like,
brother, here's
Oh,
And I'm like,
the
damn.
no.
guys.
And I'm like, oh
Nah.
man, I can't make this shot. Y'all be easy though.
Canty and I wouldn't. I'm not gonna lie to you. We would never be able to play ever.
Nah, Tox would curb stomp me, real shit.
You remember the story? Yeah, I remember the story from previous episodes. Nigga Talks talking about the game he was playing with his friends. I'm like, yo, y'all mad competitive.
Oh.
No, that's super made up and like, what the fuck is this mess?
Nah, no fucking no prisoners, bro. You dying
Yeah,
on that court
because-
today.
It's a game that's not even like it's not even like 20 years old. Fuck this game. Fuck yeah. You know, so competitive about this ball and net game. Like, shut up, weirdo. Yeah, but that's
That's just not me though, you know. I'm just not competitive. I'll have fun. Like I'll be a little competitive, but like, bro, if you're competitive as fuck, you're gonna yell at my face. I'm gonna get the fuck out of there. I'm like, I'm tired. Y'all be easy though.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Canty's origin story. I'll go next because someone here has a very cursed origin story
What?
because of where
What?
he lives.
Oh,
We
Oh,
have
no.
discussed this before.
Oh no.
That's why he's going last because everybody knows where Calm is. Everybody knows where the fucking pelican bird, dropped you on your mama's porch.
Bro,
Everybody
Elden Ring looks
knows.
crazy.
But I think out of all of us, I live in the biggest city. I live in the most popular city, I guess. Aside from Canty, because Canty doesn't live in LA now.
Yeah, no, I
He
know.
lives outside of it. He's still in
Still-
Cali, but he doesn't live in LA. So
Exactly, yeah. LA's a shitstorm. I mean, it's cool,
Oh.
but yeah, it's a shitstorm.
terrible. Fuck.
pretty
That's what I'm
bad.
saying. That shit smells
fucking bad.
fried.
Never even been to LA, but I know this shit is bad.
Oh nah. You know what that meme says? Like, I know it smells in there. That's LA.
I know it smells
not gonna
crazy in
defend it.
there.
But yeah, for me, you guys, some of you guys know, or all of you should know, I live in New York City / New York, the state. Been here for, all my life. Never really moved anywhere outside of the city. I pretty much lived in almost every borough. If you know what the boroughs are in New York, they have Queens, Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Staten Island. I've only ever lived in I've lived in 3 of them multiple times. Like I lived in the Bronx once. I lived in Manhattan 3 times, and in Brooklyn I lived there twice. Never went to Staten Island. Fuck that place. That's not considered a borough. Fuck that place. That place sucks.
Okay.
But yeah, I think my childhood was pretty. It was simple, but it was also like an adventure. It's like, you know how you see those old school movies of kids like doing adventures and shit like that.
Mhm.
And like they go on the weirdest adventures, they find the weirdest shit, things like that. Obviously, some of that stuff is exaggerated and some of that stuff is real. But like for me, like I kind of some of that was real. Like I New York is a big place. Like the city is like filled with stuff, to put it simply. It's just filled with a lot of like things you could do. And then as a child, it's kind of like a wonderland. It's kind of like you go around and you just. I mean, obviously, as you're old enough to do stuff by yourself and you go out late at night. But yeah, you just walk around, or sometimes you use a certain mode of transportation, like a bike, a skateboard, rollerblades. Sometimes people just walk straight up. So I feel like my childhood was pretty simple. I lived in, I think I was born in Manhattan. I think that's where my hospital is. Um, Grew up with just my mom. My dad was there, not as much as he should be, but that's a whole nother thing. But he was there. Kind of similar to Tox. Like I live with my mom, but I would go over to my dad's sometimes. As I got older, it got annoying because I'm like, I knew he just wasn't putting the effort in that he should be as a father. So, you know, then there's that kind of stuff. But yeah, most of the time I was just like with my cousins because my mom had me pretty young. She had me when she was like still in high school. She was like getting out of high school. She was going into college. So, but yeah, she had me pretty young. So it's like, but my mom focused on school. Like, obviously she loved me and she wanted to raise me. But it's like, my mom kind of comes from a family of people who like, not all of them are successful in like a college aspect when she was younger. So she kind of did that. She did her thing. She's one of the smartest people I know. Um, she did that while still having me, while still raised me well, got me introduced to a lot of things. But mainly it was my grandpa took care of me too, and then like my cousins, like they all took turns like fucking raising me and like watching me on the weekdays, stuff like that. And then when I had school, when I got into school, it was kind of more like everyone else wanted to hang out with me and like watch me. I'll go to my grandma's after school, and then my mom would come home, pick me up, go home, blah 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 blah. blah right. But yeah, as a kid, I was kind of more like extroverted, right? Like I feel like that is the same for all of us. We were always outside as kids, right? Like, because like back then, we didn't really have that much to keep us inside, right? If we were inside, we were like, man, I fucking want to like, I want to go outside.
We couldn't sit there and like text our buddy, be like, "Yo, come over." It's more like you go to their house, knock on their
You
fucking
just like
door.
go knock
Yo,
on
can
their
you come
front
outside?
door, yeah. And then like living in the Bronx, I didn't really have that. So like even if I had to would go out and like hang out with like friends, I would have to like my grandpa would have to take me, or my mom. We would have to go into like Manhattan, which like next to the Bronx is like right there. It's next to each other. So it's like I wasn't going that far.
Yeah, so just a couple minutes.
Yeah. So I did that, and then me and my mom lived. We left my grandpa's house. Just because it got like I was getting older and my mom wanted to live out. She wanted to move out, so we moved out. Got a nice little place for a while, and then we moved in with my grandma. And then I was an only child for 11 years, 11 or 10 years, something like that. And then my mom had my little brother, my first one, and then a year later she had my other little brother, and like the minute you have like a younger sibling, that's like your job. It's like your first job. Even if you don't have a sibling, if you're like an only child, you had younger relatives to take care of. So that was essentially your first job that you ever worked. Even if you worked somewhere before, that's your first actual job. Before like you go to like unless you're like 18, your mom had like a little baby brother, sure. Because like by the time you're 18, you probably have worked a job already. So that's been my job for 10 years. Like that's been like being an older brother is kind of like a job that I've had, and I'm kind of good at it because even when I was like 10 or 12, I was babysitting my other siblings, my cousins' kids, other babies of the family that soon will be like staples in the bigger overarching on my mom's side. Like when it was me, like just me, I was the baby of the family. No one else had like a kid on like my mom's side other than like my cousin. He was like the same age as me. We were kind of born at the same time. It was just me and him a lot of the time. But whenever he wasn't there, it was like I was the baby of the family. So everybody looked at me. Everyone had like this such big expectations of me. Not big because I think as I was growing up, they kind of were like, just let him do his own thing. Don't put pressure on him. Yeah. But then, there was still pressure on me. So you gotta go through some stuff mentally, and it's just like
Absolutely.
I kind of want to don't do things like that seems dishonoring to them because a lot of them just like put their faith in me. But I'm like, as I grew up and like I told them what I wanted to do, or like I have had changes of hearts, I've had change of mind. They're kind of like, yeah, I'll roll with it. I don't care. And I'm like, that's what I kind of need from a family. Like a family who doesn't let you chase what you want is not a family you deserve, right? So
Yeah.
like they'll look at you with such disdain and like, oh, you said you were gonna do this, you're not gonna do this now, then what the fuck are you doing anything else for? I'm like, don't say that to somebody who's like trying to chase their dreams, right? So
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I have a lot of family members who are supportive. Like they don't care what I do. I mean, they care what I do, but some of them was like, hey man, if you were a stripper, man, I'll be in the club throwing you some bands. I'm like, all right, listen, don't say that because
That's real shit though. Real
That's that
talk.
crazy uncle to barbecue, wasn't it?
no,
That's real fucking shit.
it was like some of my aunts saying that. I'm like, all right, fair enough, but don't say that to me. But yeah,
Go work that ass, honey. Go work that ass, honey.
I've had a lot of people that's just like, yeah, just do what you want. Who cares, man? You see us miserable on these fucking 9 to 5 jobs, like just do what you want. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I fuck with that. So
Do what you love to do and be proud of that shit.
and then growing up, like kind of as an only child, I kind of never really had a great close of friends. I had childhood friends who kind of like grew up with me and like are still around. Some of them are still around. And like I had elementary school friends and like things like that. But I never really had like a family until I got to like middle school. Middle school is where I found like my IRL group of friends that were family and like so many of them. And then when it got to like COVID, right? Like when I got to 2020, I was like, man, like we're down to like 10 of us who are like close friends. And then like throughout the, COVID lifespan up until like now, kind of down to like 3 or 4, just because some of them turned out to be like assholes and like people who like never really deserve to be my friend or never really deserve to be that close, just because like they think they're big men or big, big people just because they go through something. I'm like, sure, but when that goes sideways, don't come to me. Literally,
Yeah.
I'm the type of person like I'll help you any way you want. I'll roast you. I'll tell you the truth as much as it hurts. I will tell you the truth to your face. Some people didn't want to listen, so I was like, I'm out. What was the purpose of me telling you multiple times, don't do that, and you still doing it? It's like,
Exactly.
all right, go fuck up your life. I'm gone.
I'd
I'm out.
rather hear the ugly truth than a sweet lie. Real
That's
shit.
what. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. And then, getting into like Discord and Twitch. Like I was on it before COVID, and then, it's kind of a little history of like, we've said it before, but like how we all met, and like my other group of friends, like as as my group of close friends we get more close to each other, and I'm like, all right, I found a second family.
Yeah.
I never really take it. I never really take it for granted, just because like I know what these people have done for me, and like they kind of represent my real family, like my blood family, and like regardless if we're not blood, we're still close.
Yeah.
So I never really look at it as like, oh man, shout out to COVID. Some part of it is shout out to COVID, but I feel like this was bound to happen. Like, regardless of, obviously that's kind of might be a fucked up thing to say because COVID has killed people, but like, obviously COVID is the worst thing, like, ever. Like, killed so many people and like ruined so many people's lives, but then it also, helped a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, like, yeah. It also makes you realize how fucking disgusting the world is. I'm not gonna lie.
That's also
It's
true.
real.
So like, there are cons and pros to COVID existing, but I look at it as in a positive light. I try not to like dwell on the negatives. I'm like, I don't even think if you had somebody close who like passed away because of COVID, I feel like they wouldn't want you to dwell on the negatives so much. They don't want you to go on with your life. Like, hey, go do what you need to do. And like, I have my second family, so I even because I can't really see my real life family a lot because some of them moved away, some of them are just too far. And I'm like, that's a lot. Like things are expensive, so I'm just like, man, I don't want y'all to like waste all this money just to see me. So I'm like, I got my other family. They're cool. And they're like, good. That's nice. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, growing up in New York is kind of weird because it's like there's an adventure every day. So it's like on the train, on the streets, at night, in early in the morning. It's like something happens. So yeah, New York is kind of nuts. But yeah, as a kid, I'm super extroverted. I was super outside, doing everything, coming home late sometimes, lying to my mom just because like I wanted to be outside more. So there's that. But yeah, I don't know. It's been there's a lot of crazy stories that I'm gonna tell throughout the existence of the podcast, just because some of it is too long to explain. But yeah, uh, I was a normal kid, I guess. You get into I got into anime pretty early, super early actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, um, but yeah, but then like I also like I was shunned for liking anime and things like that, just because back then kids were ruthless. Kids are ruthless now, but like back then, bro, kids were fucking. Everybody was a bully. Every
Bro.
single little kid that you went to school was a bully, and
Mhm.
I never really told anybody I liked anime or like comic books or cool stuff like that, just because I'm not trying to like get roasted for liking this cool thing. And I think that continued up until like college, just because obviously you find a group of friends that you like when you say, "Oh yeah," you mention like the word like anime, and then they're like, "Yo, you like that too?" I'm like, "Oh, thank God, Jesus! Finally found someone just like me." Fuck.
No, I
Um,
felt that.
but yeah, starting up me, I think starting off with like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers. That was kind of like the nerdiest thing I've ever gotten into as a kid. And buying all this merch, dressing up as Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers for Halloween, watching every single bit of content I could as a kid. It was great. I loved it, and then that led into me liking other stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, all this other anime stuff, all this other like nerd shit like comics, Marvel, DC, and all that shit.
Yeah.
I love being a nerd. Being a nerd is great. It's like the one thing that I know I'm good at. So I'm like, might as well keep being a nerd until I'm put 6 feet below ground. So, you know,
That's
Nerd till I
true.
die.
like I might as well because this shit is cool. Like being alert, having your life and like liking all this shit. Like some people are just nerds on one thing, but if you like a whole spectrum of stuff, it's great.
It's so
And
fun.
yeah, you got introduced to a lot of other things from a lot of other people you get to meet. Like Canty, I remember when we first met Canty, he didn't know most about most of the things that I liked. And then the minute I keep recommending him stuff, because like, I kind of trust Canty to have a good opinion on things that I give him. And I'm like, yeah, look at Canty now. He's out here like watching all this other shit that I like, watching all this other shit that everybody else likes. So it's cool. Same thing for like Talk, same thing for like Home. So
Mhm. Always
it's
fun
cool.
recommendations. I never
Yeah.
thought I would like K-pop. Here I am.
Yeah, K-pop is another thing where like when I started to like, I didn't tell nobody.
Oh, I
Oh
would
yeah.
never.
So because there's like those derogatory words, the F word, things
Oh
like
yeah.
that. Like I'm not trying to get called that just because I like a certain brand of music.
Nah, music's fire. Let's do it.
It's not for everybody, obviously, but you don't have to put somebody down because they like this certain genre of music. It's
Mm-hmm.
not country. If you
Exactly.
come around talking about country, I'll punch you in your jaw. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Nah, music's music. As long as you enjoy it, that's all that matters to you.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah. Growing
But
up a kid,
anywho,
I was kind of normal. I didn't really do anything that extravagant. I didn't go around the world. I didn't meet every person in the Middle East or whatever like somebody's when people tell about their like childhoods, I'm like, yeah, you guys are doing a little too much. I'm not gonna get away from me. But yeah, I've been I'm a New York City rat and I'm pretty proud of it. So yeah.
alright,
Now let's
Yep.
get on to Mr. Ohio Man.
let's go to Ohio, man.
Mr. Elden Ring actual NPC. That's what he is.
Alright.
But yes, Colin, tell us about your origin.
Oh, if y'all don't know, but you should. I was born in Ohio, specifically Cleveland. Fucking near the gross ass lake that is Lake Erie. Oh, excuse me. A nasty piece of shit for real. Fucking grew up in the hood. Everybody tried to fight me, and they were like, "Oh shit, I don't think I've ever seen this kid smile." So they always thought I was crazy, and I was like, "This works for me. I don't get fucking messed with." But that also went downside, or there was a downside to that because my cousins were assholes. and they would always try to pick fights with everybody, and then they would get jumped, and then they send me out to go help them, and I was like, what the fuck is good with y'all? Why do I gotta go clean up the messes?
That's crazy.
I'm one of 4 siblings. I'm one of 2 middle, get an older. All
Nice.
fucking yeah. There's not much about my childhood. I I didn't do much. I always grew up playing video games with my family and shit.
Loki Sim.
I grew up watching anime with them too. We were all a bunch of weebs and gamers, but my parents, yo, go outside, go be a kid. You can go be a kid. Go do something. Like, what do you mean?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I just go outside and just get lost.
I did some outside activities in high school, but I'm just like, bro, I just want to play my Xbox 360 and get all these achievements for Halo 3. That's it.
Yeah, there's times in high school where I'm like, yeah, I'm outside, but like sometimes me and my friends would just go inside and start playing games.
We're trying to do the VidMaster challenges, bro. Like we are hanging out.
Exactly.
Yeah, high school puts us in a pack. Like we like tired at the end of the day, bro. I'm like exhausted. Fuck this place, bro.
But what I would do is I would be like, hey, y'all want me to go outside? I'm not coming back for a while. So I would go I would look in a direction and just start walking as far as I could that way until someone either called me on my phone or I got tired and decided to go back. Usually it would end with somebody calling me on my, where are you? And I'd be like, no, I got no clue. I just started walking. Here we are.
Where the hell am I?
Brother was mod checking IRL, bro. He's like, oh, what?
There would be times I would be in the middle of fields. Sometimes I'd be next to a freeway, and I'd be like, "Where am I?"
You really are an Elden Ring NPC, Jesus,
bro.
This man really is Frodo. We're going on an adventure, and he just fucking goes off. He's somewhere out there.
You literally
I would go out.
Dude, you know the dude with the big backpack in Breath of the Wild?
Yes.
Dude, you're just walking around and like, somehow you're always finding Link in like this big ass land. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Spend an IRL.
That's actually kind of true.
Bro, I would.
Somebody make that and edit. Find the backpack guy, the traveler, who's like walking around in Breath of the Wild. Put Calm's face on that because that's literally him. Swear to God.
Bro,
like Elden Ring, but it's literally you're the guy from Breath of the Wild. So.
I would literally just go get lost, and that's how I got into photography and also going inside of abandoned buildings. Oh, I gotta talk about that. Me and my friends were fucking ridiculous. We would always go into the woods and find random shit. A lot of homeless people live in the woods in Ohio, so we would find a bunch of like wooden shacks put together, and we would go. We were assholes. One time we found a rusted saw, and we cut down the nearest tree to drop on the shack. And fucking one time I was like, there's a tree hanging above it, and I went up and climbed it. The branch broke. I fell through the shack, and I was like, well.
Hello? What's wrong with you?
Bro, you said I ate that. What the fuck?
I mean, I feel like for Calm, his backstory is more interesting when he gets into like a teenager, because that's when the crazy stuff happens.
Oh yeah. Because like
absolutely.
Here's the thing. With Ohio, there's 3 options. 1, you get lost and damn near become homeless. 2, you get pregnant as a teenager, or so on and so forth. Or 3, you do a lot of drugs and die. So I chose the getting lost option.
I don't know how that's the only options. Like, how does that? This isn't a Mass Effect game. There's not 3 only options.
You talk to any Ohioan, and that's what they will tell you. They know what I'm talking about.
The fact that they know what you're talking about is actually insane. Like, yeah, you got A, B, and C. Is there a D? Like, nah, man, you gotta choose between the 3. Real shit. Like, that's wild.
This ain't no multiple choice test, bro. This is the only options right here.
Usually it's the only 2, drugs and pregnancy, but you got a bunch of sheep out here who don't know the 3rd one. But we won't get into that.
Christ.
Fucking. So I was borderline the second option, which was getting pregnant. I didn't fuck, but a lot of people were trying. Please. I don't want to starve for the rest of my life.
What the fuck? Huh?
and this brings us into my teenage years. Fucking. So.
Well. That might be because you're crazy. This might be another episode of our teenage lives. I kind of alluded to a little bit. Canty did it, and Tox did it, but you're a whole nother entity. All right, you are a fucking weirdo. Right?
Nah,
Hey man,
fucking
just because people want me dead, still to this day doesn't mean I
I mean,
was crazy.
you can't talk about that right now. You see what I'm talking about? But yeah, we'll get into that. Hollis is the craziest one out of all of us, just because of his life.
the teen arc of Hollis will be kind of wild.
Paul has been through some things.
I don't understand how he has been through and he's still here. I don't get it.
Hey, man.
Literally maxed out his stats as a child and then like just goes through life. I'm like, what's wrong?
It's kind of what happened, bro.
Calm had some debuffs now that he's still living with, but
I mean, they
what
had
is
to.
that?
It would have been overpowered by that point.
Probably, yeah.
I've had at least 4 or 5 concussions.
Jesus Christ, what the
Man,
fuck?
maybe 6.
This is what I'm talking about, bro. We can't have this.
Okay, but how about this?
Okay, go.
What was like childhood? I guess when you were a kid, before teen arc, what was your favorite go-to game to play? Like just
Oh, Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2.
As a
Black Ops 2
teen
was
or
my
as a
game.
kid?
Oh no, as a
As a
kid,
teen?
like a kid.
Oh, as a kid,
Yeah.
Kid.
all I played was
Oh,
Kingdom
shit.
Hearts and Hitman.
Damn, that's a wild combo. I'm not
Probably-
gonna lie.
My first
Probably-
video game was Hitman. I was 4 years old.
That's actually insane.
Probably Pokemon and either Spyro, Spyro the Dragon, or
Yo,
Crash
yes.
Bandicoot.
Fucking Spyro, bro.
That's my
Oh, that was
shit.
a shit.
Pokemon
that
was
was
like one of the first video. It's not the first video game I played. It's like one of the ones I like. I think the first game I played was Mario 3 with my mom. But yeah, like childhood, like my favorite ones, yeah, probably Pokemon or Mega Man if you want to like handheld games. Yeah, Pokemon or Mega Man, and then either for consoles, just like favorites to go back to as a kid. Yeah, Spyro the Dragon or Crash Bandicoot. So yeah.
Yeah,
No.
me personally, I think
Sound like a Nintendo kid dream. I could never.
Yeah.
it wasn't my console. I think it was my uncle. He had a Nintendo 64, so we usually played. I played Spider-Man, the what was it? The first Spider-Man, like when you can't fucking fall and you
Oh.
die.
Oh my
Mhm.
god, yeah.
Bro,
And
nah,
then-
you unlocked some like hidden.
That's what I
hidden memories.
played. GoldenEye was another one because we used to play it a lot together as a family. Split
Yeah.
screen, that shit was
Get me
OP.
on GoldenEye right now.
Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Stadium as well. Handheld. We did have handheld games, but like everyone was playing Pokemon. I didn't really care. I had Pokemon Silver, but I never beaten it. But we had a PS1 as well. We used to play a lot of Tony Hawk Pro Skater too. Like I
Yes,
used to play.
sir.
I used to play Spider-Man a lot because he was a secret character, so I thought that was pretty fucking cool. And fuck yeah, no, PS2 was way later on. But like PS1 was like the one, and Nintendo 60. We had a Super Nintendo, but it was just mostly Mortal Kombat 2 or like Mega Man X. It wasn't even ours though, but we had it. I think we had a Sega Genesis, but we didn't. I think it was broken though, so it'd be like that.
Stocks.
Shit, my first console was a PlayStation 1, and from what I remember, like most of the games I played was like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and shit like that. And then I had my Game Boy Advance. My first Pokemon game might have been, I think, Leaf Green for sure. And then my cousin had Fire Red, so I borrow that from him every once in a while. But Leaf Green was mine for sure. But I think my favorite out of it, I love the racing games. I don't know what it was. I think it was called Ridge Racer or something like that on PlayStation 1. That shit, I don't know what it was about it. I played that game in and out. I don't know what it was. I just played the shit out of it. It was way too good. But I think like peak of my gaming, which was around like 12 or 13, Modern Warfare 2. That was peak. And then from there on
Typically,
out,
yeah.
I just kept playing it. Like that was probably the the highest point of like my gaming when it came to that was Modern Warfare 2, Xbox 360. I don't think there's anything else throughout my experience of playing games that could probably top that.
Yeah, I like that option. I think I don't know what it is. Last little thoughts before we exit out of here. I don't know what it is, but racing games back then as a kid and a teenager
They
hit more than they
hit.
used to. They right now.
They
Oh,
hit.
absolutely.
They're
I don't
my
understand
favorite.
what it is. Maybe because driving, when we actually drive a car, it's like, yeah, this is cool. But back then, when we couldn't fucking drive a car, it was like racing games used to be like peak video games. I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened. Like Midnight Club, all those Need for Speed games,
Burnout Paradise or Burnout
Paradise,
like,
yeah.
bro.
Mario
Midnight
Kart
Club
then
was
used to hit
it.
different.
Yup.
Mario Kart is still fun now. Like 8 is still pretty fun, but like back
No,
then,
that shit
like
races. That shit races. I don't care what
Double
you say. That shit races.
Dash, Mario Kart Double Dash. Oh,
Double Dash
my
is crazy.
fucking god!
Double Dash is still
Nah.
crazy to this day.
Yeah.
Real
That's
shit.
Then I need a new one of that game. I need a new Double Dash. I don't care.
I don't know what the
Oh.
series was called, but I know I played F-Zero X on the 64, and then there was another one. It was called Cruising. I don't know if it was called.
I know what you're
Cruising
talking about.
USA
Yep,
or
that's what it
Cruising
was.
World.
No, it was
Those
Cruising
games
USA.
were my shit. Was
No,
Cruising
yeah,
USA? Okay.
F-Zero is a racing game that does count. So yeah, that game
That
does
shit-
hit too.
That shit was so fucking fun. I love Cruising. That was a sick ass series. I don't know what happened to them now. I think it was an arcade, but it was sick as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. That was like something I had like I was thinking about while we were talking. I'm like, yo, what was it about racing games back then? That used to be hidden, bro.
Racing
But now they have
games.
all this other shit like Forza and all this other shit. I'm just like, it doesn't hit the same. I don't know why.
Yeah. Racing games just ain't as they used to be anymore.
It's
Now
because they
you gotta
didn't
get, like,
hold
the whole
back
full-
back then.
Yeah, that is true.
They make it too realistic now. Back then, it used to be the craziest thing you've ever played.
Bro, Burnout. Burnout was like the first game that I played that I was like, this shit happens? What? You fucking hit a car, boom, it like blows up, it flips, it goes crazy everywhere. I'm like, no, this is some crazy shit.
Even like real life driving can't really compare to like that old GTA driving. Like you
Oh,
remember
yeah.
driving in GTA? Like I don't know why it was so much fun. But even like GTA 5 when it first came out, I was like, man, I can't do this real life, bro. This shit hits.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's a little thought before we head out. But yeah, that has been episode 9. The
Oh,
reunion of the boys. We are back.
we're gonna hit double digits next week. That's
We
gonna
got
be
double
crazy.
digits pretty soon. Episode 10 is this big special guest two-parter.
Oh, I don't know what the fuck
Yep.
it is, but
We're doing
oh.
2 parts for episode 10.
Yo.
It's not just one guest, 2. So all 4 of us will be here too. We all will be here with these 2 special guests that it needs to be broken up into 2 parts because it's gonna be the craziest thing ever. So
Okay.
we will see you all on episode 10. You know, our big double digit episode. But yeah, this has been episode 9. It was pretty fun to talk to you people with the 4 of us again. Tox has returned from his mountain ranging. KT came back. Calm is still calm, and I'm still me. So, you know, we'll see you guys. Calm, what should they do while they're listening to this? What should they be doing, Calm?
Hey, come closer, come closer. Listen up, all you beautiful motherfuckers that watch our stream, or watch our podcast or listen. Bro, I've been too used to streaming.
Yeah, that's real shit.
Like and subscribe. This is YouTube. What are you doing? Not subscribed already. We see you. I'm looking dead at you. I see what you're eating. Them fries is good, huh? Yeah, let me get some. But yeah, go.
Get a fillet of fish.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. Azzy, put this at the beginning of the video too, and also leave it at the end. We'll make something special happen.
Just
Yeah.
do it both times. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. What are you guys doing? Subscribe, please. Help us out. Get more people to listen to us.
Help us, please.
Yep.
Y'all been watching this entire video, ain't hit that like button yet? Or
That's
the
what I'm
button?
saying.
Or the bell button? Crazy.
Yeah.
Comment how much you missed Tox, or if you didn't miss Tox and you knew he was gonna come back anyways. But yeah, let us know how you guys been feeling. We're almost at 10 episodes, so it should be pretty exciting. And yeah, this has been episode 9. The reunion / childhood episode was pretty fun. And yeah, shout out to, again, like I'm always gonna do, shout out to our editor Azzy. That's my boy.
Yay.
Thank you for your hard work.
If y'all need
Yeah.
edits, his information will be in the description. I'm still, I think.
If you need something to edit, please hit up our editor. He will just give him money.
Yes.
We give him money, but I would imagine he would be appreciative of more money.
Right.
So give him that.
Indeed.
Run up
Run
his
up his
rats.
rats.
Yeah.
I am.
But that's us signing out. That has been Canadian Talks. That has been the JPEG Canty. That has been Mr. Ohio Palm, and this is me, your resident lazy Snorlax. And yeah, we will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.
Adios.
Bye.